What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. You're looking at the title right now. We're going to get into this. Now, this news went viral last night. It went viral last night. Apparently, DDG, rapper, YouTuber, had a restraining order put on him by his ex, Halle Bailey. They have a child together. Now, the breakup hasn't gone too well. They've had issues with each other. Apparently, she may have been trying to withhold the child from him. And I want people to understand something. Like, just because somebody, and I'm talking about Halle Bailey, I'm going to talk about her first and we're going to get into DDG. You look at her, she's less overtly out there like her sister. You don't really hear too much from her. But her actions and behaviors over the years, I've watched very closely. Whenever she's been in the news, whenever he's been in the news, she seems like the type of girl who is one way in public and probably another way in private. This isn't victim blaming. What I'm saying is this. DDG, they had issues in their relationship. This, I think, before they had a child together. But she stuck by DDG. I remember she put up a post, I believe, on her IG stories of her wearing his shirt, marking her territory when it was rumors that he was trying to deal with his ex. I just think that Halle is following in the footsteps of every other baby mama who don't want the father of their child to be in their child's life. Either it's because, she wants another man in that child's life. She doesn't like the fact that maybe DDG is dealing with other women, because we've seen this over and over and over again. When, these relationships end, we see where these women tend to get very angry if that man moves on, if he's not trying to reconcile. And maybe DDG isn't trying to reconcile. But now, all of a sudden, he's a woman beater. It's a man who I believe has a close relationship with his mother. I have never heard of him beating on women or assaulting women. Usually when you see that, there's been a pattern of that with certain people. That's not been the case with DDG. But now all of a sudden he's a woman beater. She has photos with bruises. Let me just say this. If he did these things, she has every right to get a restraining order. She has every right. But there were red flags with him that she ignored because she wanted to be with him. This was before she had the child. And the red flags was possibly cheating, trying to talk to other women. There may have been some strife in a relationship. I remember Ruby Rose, the ex in question, talked about how whenever he has issues with Halle, he always wants to come back to her, right? This whole situation is sad on a lot of levels because these are young people. But, DDG lives his life so publicly, and maybe she's tired of that. But when you have a child, right, it takes two. It really does. And I can't judge a situation unless I know everything that's going on or most of the details. But I look at pattern of behavior. I've been this way for years. I look at a pattern of behavior. And if you have a pattern of behavior of putting your hands on women, I can totally 100% believe that woman needs a restraining order. Now I want to go to this video clip. This is of her, Art of Dialogue put this up. This is actually from January 2026.
Guys, I've always been a little scared of the dentist, but I'm going for my regular cleaning and also because I chipped my tooth and I'm just a little nervous.
Now she's saying that DDG caused that. She's saying that DDG caused her to have a chipped tooth. Now, we're going to get into this story and you can be the judge. All right. Halle Bailey says that she's had enough of DDG allegedly abusing her. She filed a police report and now she wants court-ordered protection from the father of her child, TMZ has learned. In docs, filed Tuesday in LA. She claims things got physical in January. They broke up back in October. And Halle says DDG came over to pick up their son Halo, and she tried to start a convo with the rapper about a child visitation schedule. And those are the bruises. It looks like there's just like one arm bruise here. I don't see like a bunch of bruises. It's like one bruise there. It looks like. You know what that looks like to me? It looks like, if you know how women like to put those arm bracelets on. You know, if you leave the arm bracelet on too long, or if it's too tight, it may leave a mark. That's how that kind of looks. Not laughing at it, I'm just saying. As she was buckling Halo into the car seat, DDG, she claimed DDG grew agitated and repeatedly said, "Get out of my car." Yeah. Halle said the baby was crying and she got nervous about DDG leaving with him in such an agitated state. So it looks to me like she took the baby out of the car. She took the baby. So it just doesn't make sense. Why would he just get mad out of nowhere? Y'all were arguing, right? Because listen, if you have little to no experience dealing with women, you would believe this. But you got to understand something. Women can be a certain type of way. She could be dealing with postpartum. We don't know, because Halle doesn't say much publicly, right? But I don't think he just got mad out of nowhere. They were arguing. You know, he wanted the baby in the car. She probably went to put the baby in the car, and she didn't like something he said, and then she took the baby out of the car. That's what that looks like to me. I just don't think he just got mad out of nowhere. But let's continue. That's when things allegedly they allegedly started wrestling. Now listen, this says that's when they allegedly started wrestling. Not him beating on her, but that they were wrestling. Again, I am 100% against a man putting his hands on a woman. I am 100% for a man defending himself. But again, we don't know DDG's side of this. We don't. But according to her, they started wrestling. DDG's not a big guy, so maybe she thought she could take him. I don't know. With DDG pulling her hair and slamming her face in the steering wheel and chipping her tooth. Halle says she was in pain and crying. Although that stopped the fighting, she's still worried about Halo, so she remained in the car for the ride over to DDG's house, where she told his family what happened. I am surprised that this never got out. You mean to tell me that none of this information got public? DDG was doing a 24-hour live stream. Ain't none of this this was what he did this a couple weeks ago. You mean to tell me none of this information got put out? It was all secretive? I mean, I know that things happen and can get swept under the rug, but at some point it's going to come out eventually. And that's the picture there. Once they told her they'd take care of the baby, she left hysterical and with bruises on her arms. To go along with her chipped tooth, she attached photos of her alleged injuries in her request for restraining order. And of course, because, you know, all women are innocent and all men are guilty, they're going to grant that. They're going to grant that. Listen, people, I don't like that we only hear one side of the story. Now we're going to get to DDG because I think TMZ caught up with him after this thing went viral. She also let DDG creeped her out in March when he showed up at her home, entered without permission, went to her bedroom and texted a pic of Halle's empty bed to her, along with the text, "Now I know what you've been on. LOL." Halle says she interpreted the text DDG accusing her of having relations with other people. Because he's had relations with her, so he would know. Maybe that is why DDG might have some animus towards her, because she's possibly having relations with other dudes. But bro, DDG gotta understand, if you break up with her, of course other dudes are going to be having relations with her. You think she's just waiting for you to come back? She's a young female. A lot of these young females are not just sitting around right? They're out being active. They're out being active. That, you know, and now again, this was in March. This was after the whole January situation. Now, again, if this is true, that is very weird. That's very weird. A lot of you young dudes are weird. If this is true, y'all don't know how to leave women and go about your business. I understand that's your baby mother. That's why you take precaution. You don't just have children with everybody. You don't just have children with everybody, but you dudes, you know, you do the stupidest things and then you wonder why it didn't work out. It didn't work out because it wasn't meant to work out, because you're young and you should be focusing on getting your money right and your career right instead of having children, but you can't tell these people nothing. And now you're going to have baby mama drama for the next, 16, 17 years until the child is 18. You put yourselves in this situation. 4 days later, she claims he really exploded. When he came back to her house, Halle told him she and the baby were sick and she didn't want Halo to leave home. And she claims that's when he got verbally abusive, smashed her ring cam, and ran away with Halle's phone. As he drove off, she claims DDG threw the phone out of his window and yelled, "Go get it, Bing!" The incident prompted Halle to go file a police report, and she claims that she also has ring footage to back up her side of the story. DDG, if you did that, you are a moron. Now, I mean, listen, I don't know where DDG's rap career is, but he is a content creator, so maybe he feels like, you know, he can do all this and nothing would happen. But bro, if she got proof, because I was gonna say, how you gonna be able to prove he smashed the ring cam? She claims she has proof. If there's proof, you're gonna look crazy. But again, you know, young people just, they don't have common sense these days, especially when they're out here trying to be a content creator and a rapper, right? Getting chicks pregnant that they don't really want to be with long term. Maybe he wanted to be with her long term, but you dudes got to be smarter when it comes to protecting your seed. It was also around the time DDG claimed on X he had been fighting to see Halo for months. I remember this. He spoke about how she's been keeping that child from him. Do I believe that she's been keeping a child from him? Yes. Yes, I believe wholeheartedly that the reason why he's upset with her is because she is keeping the child from him. And she's coming up with excuses as to why the child can't leave the home. This is what these women do. They want control. And she's getting bad advice from people who are telling her to keep the child from DDG. And again, he's young. He you know, he's going to be caught up in his emotions and feelings, and he may act out, hopefully not in a physical manner. I mean, smashing the ring cam, I don't care about that. Running off with her phone, it's petty baby mama drama BS. But I do believe that she is trying to keep the child from him. Why else would he be acting out? If she would do her part as a mother and make sure that that child has the father in their life, but they don't want to do that because I don't think he wants to be with her. I don't think he wants to be with her. And she's mad and she's keeping the child from him. That is the generational curse that we have right now, is these women. You know, and the sad thing is, I believe didn't Halle grow up with both her parents? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. So why are you keeping the child from the father? You may not be in a relationship with him anymore. Y'all may disagree on things, but you never keep the child away from their father. I don't care what's going on. If he's not being abusive towards the child, if he's taking care of the child, you do your job and make sure that child is with the father. You heifers love to just create scenarios in your mind as to why the child shouldn't be with the father. Why do you think he is the way he is towards you? It is because you are going out of your way to keep that child from him, because he wouldn't act this way if you were being amicable. And she knows this. I'm not justifying any type of abuse. I said that if he did this, then he should be held accountable for it. For Halle, the final straw came just last weekend when she says she was vacationing with Halo and her sister in St. Lucia. She says DDG texted her links to social media posts claiming she was on an island with singer Brent Faiyaz. Halle replied, "Not with any man out here. I wouldn't do that. I have Halo. Please let me enjoy my Mother's Day in peace. Hope you're okay and feel better soon." The judge granted domestic violence restraining order requiring DDG to stay 100 yards away and gave her permission to take nearly 18-month-old Halo to Italy, where she will be filming a movie for 2 months. This is very convenient, y'all. This is why I tell you, I don't think I believe this. So she gets a restraining order that will allow her to take the child with her to Italy to film a movie. This looks like a play to me. This looks like a whole play to me. I think she asked DDG to take the child with her to film the movie, and he said no, and now he got a restraining order for something that she claims happened in January. This is a whole play. That's what this is. Let's get into what DDG had to say.
All that, bro.
But that can't even be real. That's the thing.
But don't even. But you remember we talked about last night. All that. Let me say something. It's not.
No, I'm saying, but I don't know where that even came from.
Yo, stop these fake allegations. This is a father. This is a real person. It's a good human being.
Even, but I don't.
But hey, bro, we on stream, bro.
Come on, like I gotta be.
Just don't do it, bro.
He's hanging out with this weirdo Aiden Ross.
Come here. Oh. All that, bro.
So I guess he's reacting to this. DDG has to stop posting or streaming about her and their child. Halle claims her ex has been whipping his fans into a frenzy by trashing her when he live streams. This seems like a whole play to me. She wanted to take that child with her for 2 months. Yo, this looks like a whole play. She even admitted that they both was wrestling each other. Yo, listen, man. I told y'all, man, these helpers play some games, don't they? Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let me thoughts on the video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.